Hey YouTube, welcome back. We have the voting and the contest rundown for everything related to the Sweet Build contest for 0.9.2. And this contest is revolving around the Mad Alchemist ladle here. In case you haven't seen one of these Sweet Build contests in the past, you should know that this video is probably quite long. We're going to run through 8 builds that people have submitted. We're going to vote here on twitch.tv/PayOrThePig to find out which build Twitch chat thinks is the sweetest build. I specifically asked people to vote for the sweetest build and not necessarily the best build, because sometimes there's an obvious thing to do with these with these unique items. In the past, we've done something with Firestarter's Torch, and using Firestarter's Torch with Warpath, for example, is probably the first thing that many people thought of. But asking people to vote for the sweet builds that people brainstorm and come up with leads to, in my opinion, a more exciting contest. So that's my take on why we're doing this. Let's talk about a couple things with Mad Alchemist Ladle in case you haven't thought about this item in the past. It has a lot of text on it, a lot of ailments on hit, and then it says 8% more spell damage per negative ailment, per unique negative ailment on the target. So for this, you're probably playing a spell damage build, most likely. You might want to incorporate a intelligence stacking build in order to have a payoff for the cast speed right there. You could even use this as a way to get more mana. If you just wanted to have mana gained on potion use per 4 intelligence, maybe that's the unique perspective that you wanted to take on this unique item here. But for the most part, I'm expecting that all the builds that we're about to run through have some source of flat damage on them. So I don't have a build guide for this yet. In the future I will, because I think it's pretty good. We have low flat damage on our wand, but we're augmenting that with Frostclaw, which scales off of both melee damage and spell damage. Spell because it's a spell, melee because of this node. So we're funneling into that by stacking dexterity and using Morning Frost. So we're like a dex stacking, intelligence stacking kind of thing here. The build's definitely not done at this point, but I've had a lot of fun experimenting with this. So I'm expecting to see builds like this, builds that have some source of flat damage, or maybe they want as much cast speed as possible. Maybe they're stacking intelligence. Maybe they just like use it for mana, like we said before. So without further ado, let's jump over to Discord. We're going to see which builds people have submitted, and we will talk through them. So as we talk through these, if you were watching here live, keep in mind that we're going to be doing voting for this in probably 45 minutes or so. So we'll see. Let's take a look. Build number 1. This is Duratas. We have a build planner here. I guess we can poke around with this. What's this build planner got going on? We're a Paladin. Paladin, Hand of Judgment. Tanky. Ooh. Armor mitigation applies to damage over time. This is a Abyssal Echoes. Attunement. Converted to hit damage with no cooldown, so you can spam it. And then enemies take % increased damage, but not % increased damage over time. So we're a hit build. I guess yeah, you have to be a hit build, because otherwise you'd be like Ignite or something for Abyssal Echoes. So we're like a crit Abyssal Echoes. Is that it? Are we crit? I guess we'll find out. Okay, I'm listening. I got a plus Abyssal Echoes. Fire damage, ignite duration, stuff, attunement. Okay. I'm not entirely sure what's going on, but I'm listening. So explain the sweetness. This person is, it's a support build. Not what I was expecting. Support Paladin. The playstyle is easy. We use Abyssal Echoes to heal allies and debuff enemies. The new, in my opinion, best unique spoon enables us to do SSF content. I haven't much time, but I play between 200 and 300 corruption. We have 17 ailments that we can use to support our team. And we can change some items and blessings to further advance this support and debuffs. I'm a group player, and I love this build. Deal. All right, let's take a look. Let's pop this open and see what the hell is going on. This is not what I was expecting for build number 1. Is this a new YouTube layout? I hate it. Let's go full screen, get some audio. What do you got? So this is about 200 corruption. Glancing blows, damage, and health. So there's one offensive modifier, 2 defensive modifiers. And I guess he's crit. I didn't see much crit chance in his build. And I don't think Abyssal Echoes has any crit built into it. Maybe I'm missing something. Is there like a mana trick in this build? Man, Abyssal Echoes seems like such a pain in the butt against Exiled Mage. Because like you put the damage on the ground and then he just moves. Does he move too much? He might move too much. Look at this guy. He was using the auto crit unique idol? Did I miss that? All right, we know what's going on. Sure. Are we Fireburst or something? I guess we can look at the build planner. No, we're just taking all the ailments. The ailments, the penetration. Okay. I see what's going on here. That's wild. That is not what I expected to be the very first submission here. Cool. All right, so what's going on? Oh my god, he's actually using Trinity of Flames. Every third fire spell you cast is guaranteed to crit. Wild. And I guess the entire duration crits, right? All the repeats and stuff. Does it work with the repeats? It probably works with the repeats. I wasn't really paying attention. Huh. I've never seen somebody use this. Sigil duration is like shred. Fire damage and stuff there. Fire damage, spell damage. Cool. All right. Yeah, I mean, I would never ever play this build because I don't like playing in a group. However, I can appreciate that some of you have friends, so kudos to you. Let's move on. Yeah, starting out strong. Best support. I don't know about best. I don't really put much thought into multiplayer stuff. I made a video talking about support builds once. Paladin's good for support. This person thinks it's the best support build, the best support paladin. It might be. Cool. All right, I'll take it. Build number 2. I've been warned about this one. I don't know if it's a meme or just like, I don't know how many bugs there are in this build. We'll see. Let's watch the video first. In case anyone in chat does not know Mystia, we briefly mentioned them on the podcast as well. Mystia has been submitting builds to all of my build contests, which is just wonderful because they have a nice big brain and they are the kind of person who does not mind punching in the Konami code in order to deal 1 billion damage and one-shot a boss. It's like, it's kind of what they're into. I expect that this YouTube video is going to be an enjoyable watch. Let's click on it. Hashtag Perry. Chat, make it happen. The fuck is happening on my screen? So they're double, they're triple, they're quadruple. They're quadruple negative on mana. They're negative 1300 mana. They have 8000 ward. They click a potion. Zombies are getting spawned. And then they're getting ward. So they're not casting anything. I guess they're casting Transplant. It looks like they're casting Transplant on cooldown. They're minus 4,000 or 4,000 mana. They have 20,000 ward. Minus 6,000 mana. Ward on Traversal for missing mana. Is that what they're doing? Is that their belt? Do they have the belt with ward gained per missing mana? That is unbelievable. Oh! All right. 200 corruption. Is there a boss? Okay, well, hold on. I've seen them do boss fights where they swap like 7 pieces of gear. So it's double zombie ring, this belt that rewards you for casting spells and like igniting yourself, wrong warp, and crit for minions, and crit for fire spells. Yeah, well, there's a wrong warp here and a ladle here. So let's see how big the weapon swap is. 1, 2. Okay. Okay. Oh, what? They just used a movement skill. They have 400 ward. They're negative 17,000 mana. What? Wait a minute. I love these contests. Okay, so this is no potion. I don't know what that means yet. Let's see. I don't know what Spirit Plague is doing there. Is Spirit Plague just for casting a spell with the cost of 0 mana so you can build up ignites in yourself? Yeah. Okay, so that's the fair version. That's fine. It's like that's good. That's very good. Very good damage. Let's see this. So they just gained 22,000 ward by clicking right click. So this time the difference is they have zombie on potion belts, right? They got to act fast. They only have 4,000 ward left. Eh. Overview. The build idea came from a discussion with my friends in the group. Thanks to their whimsical ideas. Deals over 10 million damage every 4.5 seconds when not using the bugged belt experimental ethics. Theoretically infinite ward. Note that this build may involve multiple bugs, unintended performance mechanics, with a high risk of being nerfed. Got it. We're in patch 092B right now, by the way. The spoon, it gives us 100% more damage. The intelligence gives us tons of cast speed and increased ward retention. Yes, excellent. Through the synergy of the gloves, belt, and spirit plague, you can apply 5 stacks of ignite to yourself each cast. I love that this finally has a place. I know what this interaction is, and I also think it's bugged based on what developers have said in the past. So I think there's a lot of bugs going on in here. Got it. Important facts to know. Zombie death casts Sacrifice. It can continue to work when you're out of mana. Oh, really? The zombie experimental affix on the belt now summons an abnormal number of zombies. All 2 of the above may be considered bugs or unintended and are fixed nerfed. Sure. When a zombie dies, it summons 2 worms and 1 skeleton, thanks to the nodes in the zombie skill tree. And it casts Sacrifice to detonate the surrounding minions. The zombies will respawn when it dies, forming an infinite loop. The loop gives you a theoretically infinite amount of negative mana. The experimental affix on boots gives you ward equal to the negative mana each time you cast a traversal skill every 4.5 seconds. 4.5, right? I think they said 4.5. You can get it lower, but it costs your idle slots, which I guess is probably problematic here. Spirit Plague reduces 0 mana cost, allows via a wand, allows you to be a negative mana, applying ailments to yourself. Bone Curse being 0 mana cost, converting it into an aura, summons 10 bone piles, which can be consumed by Sacrifice when cast. I've played this build in the past, and it's a very cool build. In fact, I think this build won one of our previous build contests. I think Mao put that together. The zombie experimental affix on the belt, which is currently affected by Dreadful Horde node, resulting in 4 times 1 plus 4 equals 20 zombies being summoned instead of 4 zombies being summoned. This might be a bug as well. Most lines of text here could be a bug. It's so good. All right, let's moving on to the next one. Build number 3. Let's see this one. I think I know what this build is. I expect that it's a little bit more fair than the previous build, but I'm still excited. So this is Valinov. We have a YouTube and a planner. The original idea here was to utilize Prot Novas from Frostclaw. I started out by using Crest of Unity with all the more multipliers in the Nova tree and the crit damage and stacking elemental penetration. It's an option if you want to do it. While this was a good option, things really started to cook when I added Fragment of the Enigma and spark charges from my Elemental Nova off of Frostclaw. In this build, we're hitting about 70 times per second, which translates into a ton of spark charges, even with an only 12% chance to proc 1 on hit. All of those hits also deal decent damage when totaled. We have 15 different ailments when counting spark charges, because spark charges themselves are an ailment, yes. If we manage to land a 2 or 3 LP ladle with percent blind, we can get 16. This is a huge boost to overall damage using this weapon. Plasma Orb with Immutable Order allows for 100% uptime of Brand of Deception, which creates huge ward generation against bosses. 28 ward. Oh my god, that's 28 ward on hit against bosses, and you're hitting 70 times per second. Oh, all right. Plasma Orb also trivializes clearing monoliths with an auto bomber type of playstyle. We swap our boots to the new experimental haste after teleport affix for Zumi Zumi. Boss kill times in the video have definite room to be faster, as I have a prismatic gaze. I have a bad prismatic gaze as well. I have no LP on my fragments and only 1 LP on the ladle. The build's been fun. Let's watch the video, and then we'll take a look at the build planner. What do you got?
What's up, YouTube? Valinov here today with my
negative points for not using hashtag Perry. What the
first build of the 092 patch. Got a couple more coming soon. So if you like what you see today, please make sure you subscribe to the channel. Let's get into this build. Features the new item, the Man Alchemist Ladle, and the Fragment of the Enigma. By stacking intelligence, cast speed, and the number of ailments we apply, we boost the damage of our spark charges, Frost Claw, Elemental Nova procs, and our Plasma Orb significantly. We use the foot of the mountain to reduce the cost of Frost Claw down to 0, so we can spam it to our heart's content and still maintain and gain mana.
This is tier 4?
Mainly, this is required only
How's tier 4
against
looking?
Bosses. In monolith clearing, we switch to another pair of boots, which can increase our
10,000 ward
speed significantly. In this build, int scales cast speed, flat damage for spark charges, critical strike chance, cooldown reduction, percent damage, and ward retention.
I want more ward.
Intelligence really is the master stat. And this simplifies gearing down to just stacking int and increase crit. Defenses are covered by Rune Master passives ward generation, and increasing our cast.
This is tier 4.
We get ward on crit, which we're hitting almost 50 times per second at about 180 to 190 cast speed. We also get ward on hit against bosses due to Brand of Deception, and we also generate ward on every cast.
Is that plasma thing probably Brand of Deception on hit?
Bonuses in the Frostclaw tree and the Rune Master passive. So our offense and defense scales from cast speed. We have on-demand lightning Aegis due to having static orb on our bar, which allows us to frequently have lightning Aegis up for both damage reduction and cast speed, a very large cast speed bonus, because we are running 3 idols at least, which increase our cast speed while we have it. Static orb is also spec'd to charge ground.
We're not going to watch for 12 minutes. If you want to watch for 12 minutes, you can jump into the Discord, and if you're watching this video in the future, you can always scroll back into the archives of my Discord, or you can follow Valinov on YouTube, baby. I'm going to use a Red Ring of Valeria. Okay, minus points for using unique items that I don't own. Get out of here. All right, let's take a look at the build planner real quick. Let's go like this. Using the unique items that I don't have. You scoundrel, you. Okay, so we have Foot of the Mountain, which contributes to minus mana cost while we're standing still, which is great. Let's see. Int, spell crit chance. Armor shred here. We hit crit multi. Cast speed while Aegis. Cast speed, cast speed, cast speed. Love. Man, these idols are really good. Cast speed while Aegis. And then a Twisty Boy. And we are converting to fire. What's converting to fire doing? No mana tunnel stuff. This thing here. So it seems as though this is a... Like, we're hitting like 70 times per second, but that's including the spark charges, right? Oh, for Runic Invocation. That's a great one. Covers Frostbite and Ignite at the same time because of Mad Alchemist Ladle, giving you more damage multipliers. Okay, got it. So we're really like a lightning damage build. Yeah, there we go. So we have exalted lightning damage on our gear. Yeah. So this is a spark charge build that's jumping through some hoops. Okay, I like it. Let's take a look at this real quick. With all of our ward generation, we're using a wand, crit multi, jagged veil, sure. And then even making use of Celestial Doom as well. Yeah. Yeah. I'm into it. That's pretty cool. Oh, that's 70 hits per second without including spark charges. That's a lot of hits per second. I like it. That's pretty... Oh, I just got kicked out of the game, didn't I? No. It's fine. I'll be kicked out of the game. So that was build number 3. Let's zoom on ahead to build number 4 here and see what's going on. Build number 4. We can pop open the build planner first. This is going to be a Lich build. We have Ladle, Immolator's Ablation, giving us that flat damage again. Got some bleed boots. I guess they also have a bunch of almost all attributes. It's strength, dexterity, intelligence. I wonder. Cast speed, Twisted Heart. We have Rip Blood generating. Okay, Rip Blood is really good with cast speed to generate more flat damage for us. And then we cast Wandering Spirits. It gives us more ailments. Bone Curse, Cursed Limbs. And if I had to guess, we are a DPS transplant build. I think this looks like a Rip Blood, DPS transplant, Goomba stomp on the monsters kind of thing. Rip Blood stuff. So we don't have cooldown on boots, don't have cooldown here, and no cooldown on the transplant. Okay, so we're just going to bear that in mind. I do like that helmet. It's a nice helmet. All right, let's see. Explanation. This is my Ladle Lich build, focusing on cast speed in order to stack as much Arcane Absorption and Immolator's Ablation stacks as possible to increase my spell base adaptive damage and overcome the low spell damage on the Ladle itself. Love it. 14 ailments, 306 cast speed, 160 intelligence. Holy crap. Having never made a Lich, I had to fully level one up, and I only got to level 85 in the past week. My gear is nowhere near optimized, okay? With a gross amount of cast speed and stacking spell damage, this build should breeze through the early endgame and be competitive with high-end content. Also, it looks sweet. Love it. I like the idea a lot. Let's take a look at the video real quick. Let's take a look at the video on YouTube real quick. That'll be a little bit better. Boop. Showing off the gear for a second. We'll have like a skill tree stuff as well. Yeah, the boots do have a lot of stats on them, don't they? That is a good observation. We do like stats these days, don't we? Fast forward. We just looked at the skill tree. Come on. Show me how cool your build looks. Come on, dog. It's all I cast speed. What? Where's the transplant? I want to see the Goomba Stomp. There's no Goomba Stomp. There's no payoff. Ba-boom. Where's the fucking Goomba Stomp? All right. Sure, you got a lot of cast speed. You get me all like hot and bothered and then like not giving me the payoff. I don't know how I feel about that. But cool. Yeah, I like this idea a lot. This is one of the early things that we mentioned that you could do with the wand. Cool. I would love to see how this compares to what? To using a Marina's, what's it called? Marina's Lost Soul instead. Marina's Lost Soul is kind of a messed up item. My question is like, if you just swap out the build, how does it compare? Because I know that Marina's has been like dominating Lich gameplay for a long time. I hope that this wand is competitive with Marina's because it's a very cool wand. But that's something that I'd be interested in for like further research. Let's go to the next build. The next build here we have from Amarathi. If anybody knows Amarathi from YouTube or from Twitch, you'll know that his brain is also quite large. I love the kinds of things that he brings to the table, so I'm excited to read through this. Wild magic. Expensive gear, absolutely not needed. It can still pump out damage and over 10,000 ward without shackles, without fundamental criterion, without prism wraps, without Orions, without red ring, without the booties, without the purple flame ward. Expensive gear not needed. The build works by spamming Rune Bolt at high cast speed to randomizer your combo and pump your runic energy. Runic Invocation will then always repeat cast, so it'll double cast, and it'll proc the Cascade for a mix of Frostwall, Glyph, and Static Orb. Making a traversal skill gives it 16 flat damage and base crit from your passives. Runebolt Tri-Ellie also gives high uptime of the +6 from each of the 3 nodes, so plus 18 damage. Lots of moving pieces, and it feels like a true wild magic build that sits well with the spoon. Most Runic Invocation builds also have very high base with moderate DE. I don't know what DE stands for. Let's take a look. Again, I'm hoping that this looks awesome. I don't really know what we're about to see. Hit it. What do you got, Amarathi? Speak to me. So he's not casting random invocations, is he? Is he? High damage effectiveness, gotcha. DE. So he's basically numlocking his runic invocation. Okay, so he is proccing random runic invocations, which I love. And then along with that, when he casts his runic invocation, it will cast one of the random skills on his bar. So it's either casting Static Orb, Frostwall, or Glyph of Dominion. I feel like EHG really wants to see this build. I feel like you'd show this to Mike or Judd and they'd be like, Thank God this exists. Yeah, look at this. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool idea. All right, let's swap back. I guess we can take a look at the gear as well. Real quick, because I just saw Sebastian jump into chat. Sebastian, you're the one who made the bot, right? Stick around. We're recording a video right now, but I want to chat with you afterward. All right, so what do we have? We got prismatic gaze. We got some red rings. We got some gear and a half. All right, buddy. So what are we doing? It's fundamental criterion, and we're using a wand, but everything else is random. So like we want all attributes for strength, dex, and attunement. Like vitality doesn't matter, I suppose. But like, it's just randomly helping us as much as it could. I love it. Yeah, footies. The footies are definitely there for all attributes. It kind of stinks that they don't have movement speed on them, but you could do what the other person did and use the Blood of the Exile. They have movement speed and like strength, strength, dexterity, intelligence. So like you're missing attunement if you use the Blood of the Exile instead, but you get movement speed instead. Interesting. I'm into it. I don't know how good it is the end game. Did he say anything else here? I feel it's definitely sweet. I would be surprised if a tri-Ellie build ever becomes super endgame. I guess Runic Invocation has this note. Oh, you know what? You have this as well, don't you? You have like all the crit here. And this is more elemental damage. So like, yeah, so it's a multiplier that hits all three elements. Runic Invocation has elemental penetration per 3 intelligence. That really goes a long way to make random bullshit go the build work well, doesn't it? Because you are getting a lot of penetration. What ailments, or sorry, what blessings did you take? When lightning res, spell leech, necrotic res, fizz res, armor. Okay. There might be some pretty good. I mean, this is a pretty good tri-Ellie build. Does he ever proc prismatic gaze? I don't think he does, but that'd be interesting too, wouldn't it? Because then you get to apply shred as well. That's pretty good. It's seems very fun to play too. Like the fact that you can even get away with doing this. It's like, here's some random nonsense. And you get like a little sampler of every different runic invocation. This is probably someone's favorite build. You know what I mean? There's probably some player out there who sees this and they're like, yeah, that's my brand new favorite build I've ever seen in Last Epoch. It's very likely the case. Sick. Let's move on. We got another one. We have 2 more to go. This one is from Kos. This is a spoon with knife, but no fork. What? It's a Frostclaw Spellblade. Let's take a look at the build planner real quick. Frostclaw Spellblade. We're dual wielding. Transcribers has flat spell damage and elemental penetration. Generic elemental penetration. So hot right now. We are a actual factual low life build with Sanguinous, last steps. You could even go gloves for the low life stuff. We are proccing Ellie Nova. We have like melee damage as well, because we're a Spellblade. Static Orb stuff. We're specking Snap Freeze. Okay. All right, let's take a look at the actual description stuff here. So why is this build sweet? This person said, the idea is to skip Runemaster because it's OP. Wait. Create gamepad friendly build based on Frostclaw, possible to kill tier 4 Jewelra and farm all endgame with only one build. Additional spell damage for a spoon will be taken from a knife, the Transcriber's Graver, because that is a good base with a lot of flat damage on it. 24 penetration, which is great, and legendary potential to get at least 2 affixes additionally in the future. We are interested in melee damage because of the one node called Glammed Ring. Very cool. Since another node, Valley of Glass, multiplies hits QTY, hits quantity by 5. Bosses may be killed without even a legendary item. I gotcha. Extra ailments, we have Ellie Nova, proccing Ignites, Bleed from an Idol, Frostbite from Snap Freeze. You also get Snap, or I think they're pathing through the Frostbite node in Frostclaw as well. So yeah, Frostclaw is giving Snap Freeze. Chill from Frostclaw, good. Shock, lightning skills are applying it because we're converting to lightning. And then lightning shred from a blessing. Got it. Let's take a look at how this build looks as a gamepad friendly all-rounder. I thought a lot about dual wielding. Snap freeze duration. What a little cheese. What a little cheeser. All right, let's see it. Are you gonna just perma-freezer? Is it more offensive to tank her one-shot over and over with no flame ward? Or is it more offensive that Snap Freeze exists in the game? That's so dumb. I hate Snap Freeze. All right, hold on. Let's take a look at this real quick. Click. The boss killer support build. Just having a mage in your party. Wow. If you like the idea of Snap Freeze stuff, it was a very common theme in the cooldown recovery speed build contest that we had a couple months ago. All of that is on YouTube and on my Discord as well. It's not hard to sell me on a Frostclaw build. I'm a big fan of Frostclaw. One of the nice things about this is that the helmet has elemental penetration with Ellie Nova per 10 uncapped total elemental resistance. So we have to try Ellie Nova all the time because the helmet also gives us less damage taken from Crest of Unity. Also gives us the elemental penetration generically. Pretty good use of Crest of Unity. I like that helmet a lot. We have one more build here. Two more builds. Just kidding. We have 2 more builds here. We have a build that I suspect is very, very good. We'll see. This is a Soup Kitchen Devotion Paladin. This build functions very similarly to Devotion Paladin on surface. We use Judgment to train our mana, Lunge to jump toward enemy and proc Smite, and then we smite away from them, using Smite as a movement skill. We use Holy Aura and Sigils for all this stuff when our mana goes above 30. We get flat spell damage from a shield with Paladin passives, you get a bunch. Cast speed from using Devotion. With minimal investment, we pick up lots of different ailments. As I explained in the video, having a low chance of getting a lot of ailments is better than specializing in a single. I agree. So here's our 12 ailments here. We have Time Rot, ooh, Future Strike, Ignite, Bleed, Shock, Poison, Electrify, Shred, Frailty, awesome. Let's take a look at the video here and see what's going on in the soup kitchen.
I know what some of you are thinking. How dare I? How dare I?
Doesn't have a hashtag, but it's close. I can appreciate it.
Submit a Devotion Paladin build into a build competition about unique and new and fun builds. Well, you kind of got me there. But I think there's something to be learned about Mad Alchemist Ladle with Devotion Paladin specifically. On top of that, I think Mad Alchemist Ladle really has a home in Devotion Paladin. So let's get into it here. First thing I need to let you know is that Devotion Paladin is actually an ailment build. I didn't know if you knew this, but it always has been. Let's go over to the skills and start with Smite. Ailment. We have 10% chance to blind. Ailment. Electrified chance of 40%. Let's go on over to another skill.
We're not gonna watch 8 minutes. We have to pause somewhere. I'm going to fast forward. I would love to see some stuff. I want to see some damage numbers. 630. All right, God bless. Let's go punch stuff. Let's go right here.
And I'll see you then.
$164. What is that? Like about like 250 or 300 corruption? I am shocked and electrified and chilled and frailtied and slowed and electrified and poisoned and bled that this build isn't a devotion smite hammered in. Oh, is it 340 corruption? I don't know how math works, dude. I'm really surprised that this build is not devotion smite hammered in. I feel like that's the most obvious thing to do with this ladle. So this is a crit build. Oh, wait, is it just using judgment just to drain your mana? Is it just judgment to drain your mana and then keep it low? In the past, I've used cooldown sigils for that. Like cooldown instant cost sigils or instant cast sigils. Are they speccing in? They're speccing into judgment, right? Yeah. Using an entire skill. Because, like, notably, they're not using, like, volatile reversal or something, right? In before I start reading this, and they're like, I hate volatile reversal. Listen, everybody hates volatile reversal until you try it. It's really good. All right, that's neat. And what's their build planner? Let's take a look at this real quick. Everybody's... Oh, I was going to say everybody's got a block chance cradle, but me. God bless. You only have tier 1 block chance. That's about my RNG too. Don't worry about it. So Devotion, Mad Alchemist, Blind on hits. And then Judgment is a little aura for us, and it's just being used to consume all of our mana. Yeah, sigils. I think this sigils right here is enough to drain your mana. Aura stuff, sure. And then we are we're like a self-cast smite build, right? Do we have any cast speed? Gotcha. No cast speed that I see. Damage. All right. Let's see what's going on. Let's drag this back over here. We have one more build to take a look at. I think. Am I lying this time? God bless. I'm not lying this time. We've Guybrush. Let's see what's going on. Mad Nova Boy. So Nova Boy was an old school build. Let's see what's going on this time. Channeling Ellie Nova for that sweet plus 28 damage while channeling and the blessing for 15 cold damage while channeling. Using the new Crest of Unity with Leoth's Signet and Glyph of Dominion for elemental penetration. That's cool. Yeah, using Leoth's Signet. That's a good observation there. Let's take a look. That's a nice little combo. I don't mind that. So the Nova Boy build in the past would use Channeled Ellie Nova. This was like the best build in the game for a long time, like Nova Boy. Channeled Ellie Nova along with like Orion's Eye, Prism Wraps, and the helmet, Ashen Crown. And then you would basically off-screen everything, just move your mouse around. And then for single target, you'd probably be using something like Lightning Blast. So that's what used to be the case. Let's see what's going on here.
Hello! So I'm here to submit my build for the Mad Alchemist's Ladle build contest by Perry the Pig. So I think when you're going for something like Mad Alchemist Ladle, like he kind of said in the video where he introduced the build concept, you want to figure out how to add damage. The wand itself doesn't do much in terms of flat damage, but it does add a bunch more damage per negative ailment. So you get a big multiplier, but you're multiplying a fairly small number until you can figure out how to do something about that. And of course, this being the Rune Master patch, I wanted to play Rune Master. Because what else?
Click.
Penetration, which is one of your huge sources of more damage when you're doing any kind of build that hits. Actually, not even just builds that hit, just builds in general. It's hard to get enough penetration for 3 different elements.
God, look at that
Luckily
mana.
for us, we get a helmet for Elemental Nova specifically, which gives us it gives us penetration for every elemental resistance that we have, and the amount of elemental resistance that we have, because we're channeling, can get
The all res well channeling and using Leoths and using the new helmet for getting elemental penetration. Yeah, I like that. It is a neat idea.
at 100 penetration where we are. Taking this off of our build drops us about 10% more damage, so it's like a 10% more damage multiplier. In addition, our Glyph of Dominion here gives us ward per second based on our total elemental resistances, so you can see if
it also gives you like 75 all res. Yeah, it's very cool.
Channeling.
Let's see the Aerobus.
We'll see how this goes. I'm not super coordinated here.
There's just like 150 corruption. Was that it? So normally in this kind of build, you swap to a different skill for single target, but we'll see how this goes.
The fact that I'm really quite bad at this doesn't completely kill the demo. But it could. It's definitely a possibility. You can see here that I do not have the node in Rune of Invocation that locks me into a specific set, immutable order, I think it's called. Unfortunately, with this specific build, you can't use that.
I like everything other than
2 sources of a cold rune.
Other than focus.
Order. Unfortunately, Elemental Nova cannot count as a ice rune for the purposes of immutable order.
Your mana! Oh my god. It's like, oh man, this would be the perfect time to go in and deal some damage, wouldn't it? This is your opening. This is your opening. And it's like, yeah, but this is also a really good opening for me to get some mana back, wouldn't it? Man, I hate focus so much. All right, cool. So I'm slightly biased against focus, but the rest of this build has some cool ideas going on. I'm into it. So let's see. Let's start making this thing here. We have, what's that website called? Let's do one of these real quick. We are going to mock up a Strawpoll here, and I'm going to give this link to all the members of Twitch chat who are watching here live. Take just a moment for me to punch in these builds, because truthfully, I didn't look at them ahead of time. So that's the sweetest build. All right. Add. Option number 1, we had the best support. As a reminder, while I type in the submissions here, remember that all 3 of the top sweet builds will be receiving the prize of a gift sub to the channel. Listen, someday I'm gonna get Last Epoch to sponsor me, and I'll give you some points or something. But currently, that's not the case. Let's see. We have best support. We have the sacrifice negative mana build. Next up after that is spark charges. I think we only have 1 spark charge build, so I just call it spark charges. Next is this is Lich Rip Blood. Just call it that. Then we have the Wild Magic build. Wild Magic Runic Invocation stuff. Next we have, what is this? What skill were they using? Oh, they were Frostclaw, right? So, call it like a dual wield Spellblade Frostclaw. And then we have two more at the bottom here. This one is Devotion Smite. And the very last one at the very end is Channeled Elinova. Got it. All right. Selection of multiple options. No. Required names. No. And then let's see. Click like this. And create poll. That's pretty good. All right, so I will post this in Twitch chat right now. Then we will just fast forward in the video. It's Claw Procking Novas. I apologize. Let's pin this right now. You sure you want to pin this? Yes. Pin, pin, pin. Done. Cool. So take a look. Take a look at that. Remember, the top 3 builds, like I said, will be receiving the rewards. They're receiving a gift sub to the channel, and they will receive high praise from every other member of Twitch chat and Discord, saying, "Wow, your build was so sweet, dude." So as this happens, I'm going to step away. I'm going to make some tea for myself. I've got a lot of water next to me, but I didn't make any tea. So I've been talking a lot tonight. Let me go take care of that. And I will be back in just a moment. We'll take a look at how this goes. How long should we do this? 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes? Let's see. We have 92 people watching live in chat. Hopefully, they can all alt-tab and do me the tremendous favor of voting for the sweetest build. 5 minutes, done. I'm going to go grab some tea. I'll be back in just a minute. Don't forget to vote, just like real life. Be right back. I don't have permissions to view the results. Yeah, so in the past, we've had people see the results ahead of time and then tell other people what the results were, which would skew the other results. Yeah, so only me. I can see the results. You cannot see the results. That is a feature. That is not a bug. All right, let's go click some buttons and see what's going on here, okay? Whoops. It's a feature, not a bug. Let's see. I have to click this button, don't I? Hold on. It's the downside of having my F buttons bound in the very particular way that they're bound. Let's see this. Show results. Has it been 5 minutes? Oh, created 5 minutes ago. It's perfect. It's been 5 minutes. Perfect. Click show results and see what is going on. You ready? Drum roll, please. In third place, the sweet build is the best support paladin. The best support paladin. Let's go pull that up real quick. Take a look at it. In third place, best support paladin, easily the best support in the game. We know paladin's pretty good, but maybe this makes it even better because you're applying more ailments. And the fact that you're applying so many ailments means that you yourself can actually play, even though you're just a support. So the more you support, the more damage you're dealing because of the wand. That is a pretty cool interaction. Congratulations to Dorotas from hitting third place there. I like it, dude. Second place in our sweetest build contest, who can make the best use of the Mad Alchemist Ladle, is the sacrifice negative mana smorgasbord of every line of text on the screen right now is probably a bug. I love it. What a crazy build, dude. We saw it almost literally. It's a bunch of small hits, but like pretty much one-shot tier 4 Julra. I haven't seen a build that has this many bugs in it, or things that might be bugs, or high risk that this build will not be playable for more than a patch. So if you want to play this and recreate it, play it soon, I guess. Or don't be mad when it gets nerfed. So congratulations for Mistia for hitting second place on this one. First place in the sweet build contest is scroll. Amarathi and the Wild Magic build. Look at this. You don't need to have all the expensive unique items. You can just play a sweet build, giving yourself more damage, generic, for all the different elements. You've got generic elemental penetration, scaling off of your intelligence. You're using a fundamental criterion, not for any particular reason, but because it's a way of scaling all of your damage, because you don't really know what you're about to cast next. Like I said before, this is probably somebody's favorite build in the game, whether they know that yet or not. If you show this build to somebody who works at EHG, show this to Mike, show this to Judd, they're just going to be happy that this build exists and that people are playing it and people are fawning over it. This is a pretty sweet build. I'm kind of into it myself. Random bullshit, go! It's so good. Oh, I love it. Cool. So those three people, Durtas, Mistia, and Amarathi, will all be receiving gift subs to my channel. If they want to forward those on to somebody else, just DM me and let me know what you want to do. But most importantly, the rest of us can fawn over how big their brains are and how sweet these builds really are. We'll be doing more of these build contests in the future. I don't know if going forward we're only going to have one build contest per patch, or maybe if there's a lull in the action of like community events or things that we receive from EHG, maybe we'll do another one this patch. I don't know. We'll play it by ear, but you will always get more information from me on stream, on Discord, and on YouTube. So find me in one of those three places. Enjoy these builds, and I'll see you next time.